Okay, so my question is, when we're born into this reality, why is it that we forget our past lives? And how is it that we can remember more of our past lives?
All right, well, first of all, you forget your past lives because you don't have any. None of you do. Everything exists at once. The past is an illusion. What you're calling past lives, you call that because you're coming from a linear space-time frame of reference. The idea is that you make those connections to other simultaneous incarnations that exist exactly at the same time you do. When you come from the present, you make those connections. You say, I need to make this connection, I need to make this connection, I need to download information and experience from that person in that life, and that person in that life, and that person in that life. From my perspective, they may seem to have lived 300 years ago. From this perspective, they may seem to be living 300 years in the future, but these are the connections I need to make from the present in order to download the information I need to help me with my theme in this life, just as they may be doing the same with me to download information that helps them with the themes they are exploring in their lives. It all happens in the present. There's no such thing as a past life in that context. Do you understand?
Yes.
But the bigger question is answered this way. You forget so that you can remember from a new perspective. Because if you only exist in a timeless state, there's no change, there's no growth, there's no difference. You have to forget who you are to remember who you are from a new point of view, to discover something new about yourself. Because you see, the structure of existence never changes. It's eternal, it's infinite. It's always the same structure. It's existence itself. What changes, what expands creation, is that your perspective and experience of the structure keeps changing. Now I'm looking at it from this point of view. Now I'm having this experience of the structure. Now I'm seeing it this way. Now I am this perspective. That's what expands creation infinitely. The structure never changes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you have to forget who you are to remember who you are from another point of view, to add to the sense of who you are and grow. Yes?
Yes.
So the only perspective, let's say, that you could come from, where you could say, yes, this is my life, and that is my life, and that is my life, is from the oversoul perspective, because all those lives are extensions, quite often, of the same oversoul. But as a person, on this level, you are you. You have never been anyone else, and no one else ever has become you. Because the very idea of being an individuated person, persona, an individual soul, is that you are an individual and you remain so. Because you're unique. That's a unique experience. You can create the experience as if you have had other lives, reincarnation, and so on and so forth. But that's not mechanically what's happening. All the lives already exist. But your consciousness can shift in ways to give you an experience as if you're remembering another life you had. But that's just a perspective of linear space-time. Is this making sense?
It is. But then how does karma carry over from...
It doesn't. That's the point. The belief that it does is what allows you to experience that it does. When you understand that it's just a belief and it's just about being in balance with who you prefer to be, then there is no karma. So in a sense, you have balanced your karma by getting to a point where you realize that there really isn't any karma and it's just about being in the state you prefer to be in. Does that make sense?
It does.
Now, you may also be referring to the idea that when you set up a theme in life to explore, you do create a kind of destiny. You do create a kind of momentum, certain kinds of things that you must explore as part of that theme. And if you want to refer to that as karma, you can. But it's not really coming from the past lives. It's coming from the present in the sense that it's simply representative of the challenges you need to face to explore this theme fully. So you work with the idea of destiny or karma and free will both together in a certain way. In spirit, you could say, this is the theme I'm going to explore, and there you are. That's the hallway you will walk down. Now, how you walk down that hallway, that destiny, that karma, that challenge, that theme you're exploring is up to your free will. You can run, you can walk, you can fly, you can jump, you can be happy, you can be sad, you can go upside down, right side up, you can go backwards, you can be forwards, you can go side to side, look in every door, ignore them all. That's your free will about how you will walk down that karmic hallway, that hall of destiny. But walk down that hallway, you will. Is this making some sense? Is this helping?
Yes.
The reincarnational structure is a psychological one. It cannot be understood in any other terms. The distortions and interpretations that have built up about it are natural enough, considering what seems to be your practical experience with the nature of time. The reality, the validity, the immediacy of those lives do exist simultaneously with your present life. The distance between one life and another exists psychologically, and not in terms of years or centuries. The psychological distance, however, can be far more vast. There are certain lives, as there are certain events in this life, that you may not want to face or deal with. There may be great temperamental differences in some cases between your personality in one given life and another, so that your present self simply could not relate to the other's experience. You will be more strongly drawn to those past lives that somehow reinforce your own at this time. Earlier in this book, I mentioned alternate presents on several occasions, and reincarnational lives are indeed alternate presents. There is interaction between you and your reincarnational selves constantly. There is, as your friend Sue Watkins said, constant action across the board. Those selves are not dead, in other words. Your understanding of this must be limited because you automatically think in terms of one life experience at a time and in linear patterns of development. In your terms, a reincarnational self can be aware of your environment and interact sometimes through your own relationships. Certain present happenings can, indeed, spark such interactions. In quite other terms, however, the reincarnated personality, while interacting with or through you, can still be having other kinds of experience at other levels. Because time is open-ended, as you think of it, you can also affect what you think of as past reincarnational selves, and at times react in and to their environment. You would usually do this in the dream state, but this is often accomplished just below the level of waking consciousness, and is blotted out by you as you go about your daily business. Reincarnation, as it is usually explained, in terms of one life before another, is a myth, but a myth enabling many to partially understand facts that they would otherwise dismiss, insisting as they do upon the concept of a continuity of time.
I used to subscribe to the notion that we all lived sequential human lives, one after the other, as did Monroe. You will find that the standard concept of reincarnation runs through his work. However, I have now come to the conclusion that this is not quite right. It is fair to say, from a focus 4 perspective, that we all certainly do experience many, many human lives? The difference is, we don't experience them sequentially, we experience them all simultaneously. Focus 4 of consciousness holds what you might call our individual primary essence. Each individual is a focus of his or her primary essence. Stemming from each of our primary essences, if you like, are many, many other focuses. A person may have thousands of other focuses who are experiencing physical lives, both in our physical world and in many other physical dimensions too. But these other focuses are not us. But they are directly connected to us, if you like, as they are a focus of the same primary essence. We can merge with these other focuses as they are of the same primary essence, and they can merge with us. When I say merge, I mean we can search within us and experience them. They are most certainly other lives, and other lives we can merge with and experience. But they are not us. They are other focuses of our primary essence. Again, within subjective reality there is no time, there is no such thing as past and future. All is present. This aspect of subjective reality is one of the most misunderstood aspects and causes a lot of confusion. I've said a number of times that all this is to do with the way these, what are called, trans-dimensional areas in consciousness function. I've been studying them for a while and they are mighty complex to get to grips with. I still have not managed to suss them out yet. But what people are calling past lives are, in fact, encounters with other focuses of their primary essence. The basic mistake people make is they assume the other person is them. How can it not be them? People think to themselves, after all, they know so much about them. They can sense them inside, so it must have been another life, they assume. Just like when people looked to the sun and tracked its movements. It was obvious the sun revolved around the earth. Of course, the sun does not actually move around the earth at all. Quite the opposite. In a similar vein, these people are assuming that the people they are merging with are them. But the people that we encounter within us, in this particular respect, are not us. They are other focuses of our primary essence that we can merge with. I have done this a number of times. All you need do is project to focus 4 and all will become apparent to you. What people are calling past life regression is, in fact, a merging with another focus in the action of an F1/F4 overlay experience. But I actually doubt that even these are all true mergings with other focuses. It may just be people observing other people within focus 3 and not understanding that there is even a focus 3. There is a difference between merging and observing. When you merge with another focus, you actually feel as if you have become that person. You haven't actually become them, all you have done is to merge with them. But it does feel like you have become them for the duration of the merging. Hence the reason why people mistakenly assume the other person was them at some stage. Again, there is no time within subjective reality. I cannot stress this point too highly. It is the source of much confusion and misunderstanding. It is fair to say that at least some of our physical focuses who are experiencing our physical dimension may be engaged in several different time frames simultaneously. So in this sense and in this sense only, we, from where we are sitting in this time frame, may have other focuses who are currently engaged in physical lives in our historical past, and perhaps we can offer ourselves glimpses of their lives, seeing how we are sharing the same physical system. However, they are still experiencing their lives at the same time as we are experiencing ours. I am not saying that the people who are thinking they are connecting with past lives are talking a complete load of BS. Nope, I am saying they are making the basic misassumption that they were once the other person. they are making the mistake of assuming their lives are occurring in a linear time framework, occurring in a sequential manner. In other words, that each life precedes one after the other. Nope, all your focuses are living simultaneously, and every one of your focuses is a different person. What connects them all, if you like, is they are a focus of the same primary essence within focus 4 of consciousness, and that is what makes it possible to merge with them. You do have other focuses that you can merge with, but they are not you. You are you and they are they. But people are so transfixed with the notion of linear time they cannot think beyond it.